Outstanding Young Alum Award. Chris Heslinga has dedicated his career to fostering a more compassionate and accessible justice system. Currently the director of the Law Center at the University of Victoria, Chris previously served for 8 years as the civil supervising lawyer at UBC's Law Students Legal Advice Program, as well as the supervising lawyer and academic director at UBC's Indigenous Community Legal Clinic. He is a former president of the Association of Canadian Clinical Legal Educators and regularly provides pro bono legal services through various channels. Chris is an exceptional lawyer, mentor, educator, and advocate whose work is critical to the continued existence of essential legal programs for low-income individuals.
Another thing that really drives me in the work I do is really seeing the passion and dedication that the students bring to the work we do. Term after term, I see students come into this work with so much energy, compassion, and really love for the clients we serve and for the ideals that our law upholds. I think there can be a bit of a harsh reality check when our students do have the realization that so much of the laws and the systems we have in place are not really meant to help and benefit the clients we serve, and the exhaustion that can come from trying to explain that to clients. And so knowing that despite all of that, these students sometimes are working longer hours and harder, and the joy that I can see from my students who are often successful in these cases against these partners at national law firms, and seeing that using the law and using their knowledge and hard work, they really can help David beat Goliath.
At his core, I believe that Chris is driven by a strong sense of purpose, and that purpose really is allowing as many people as possible to have access to justice. And so by being able to run his legal clinics, to teach his students, to create also a next generation of lawyers who are going to sort of share that passion, I really do think that's what drives him.
I'll mention a motto that was taught to me by my dad, as it's become especially important to me as we recently lost him, unfortunately. But my dad always taught me growing up that a little hard work never hurt anybody. And I know, unfortunately, in law, that can sometimes be taken to an unhealthy degree. And so I think as a kind of a nice complement to that, a lesson or a motto that I actually learned from one of the students I taught is that rest is resistance. And I think for so many of us who are working in spaces that are trying to change things, that our corporate capitalist society can really push those of us who are trying to make changes to exhaustion and to burnout even. And this lesson that my student taught me that, taking the moment to rest and to recharge and gain that energy and power to be able to come back to fight the good fight and to make those changes or try to make those changes to a system that does not want to change, that is an act of resistance.